Welcome to The Deep Read, the podcast where we dive beneath the surface of the stories that move us. We are going to explore the books, ideas, and stories that spark curiosity and connection. Whether you're a seasoned bookworm or just love a good conversation, you're in the right place. So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and let's turn the page together. And now, let's move to our lovely hosts, Emily and Mike.
All right, let's dive into Absolution by Jeff VanderMeer.
Okay.
Now, this isn't your typical mystery.
It's not.
VanderMeer, you know him from the Southern Reach trilogy, right?
Right.
This one is weird fiction. It's got mystery. It's a thriller, but there's like this layer of the uncanny.
Yeah.
If you like unraveling mysteries, exploring that dark side of human nature, and just encountering the unexpected in a book, then this one's for you.
I think what grabs you right away in Absolution is the setting this place VanderMeer calls the Forgotten Coast.
Yeah.
It's almost like a character in itself. And then you've got Central, this organization, running expeditions into this place.
Yeah, Central, right from the get-go, they're secretive. What's
Yeah.
their deal?
Yeah.
What are they doing in this desolate place?
Well, their latest expedition goes south. Big time.
Yeah.
Fragmented records, unanswered questions, a sense of dread hangs over everything. And years later, a Central operative, this guy named Old Jim, he's tasked with putting it all together, figuring out what happened.
It's here where VanderMeer's character work really shines, I think. Old Jim's not your everyday investigator. He's haunted by his past, weighed down by loss and guilt.
Yeah.
He's fighting his own demons while trying to untangle the mysteries of this expedition.
And the novel really digs into how memory shapes how we understand reality.
Right.
The effects of past trauma, it makes you think about what you can truly believe when memories are so fragile, so easily manipulated.
Then VanderMeer throws in these curveballs that just keep you hooked.
Yeah.
Like Sergeant Rocker.
Yeah.
This trained alligator that breaks free and vanishes.
Mm-hmm.
Makes you question control. It even animal agency. Can we really tame the wild, or does it always find a way to break free?
Then you have these white rabbits, seemingly harmless at first, even idyllic, but their behavior takes a turn.
Oh, yeah.
The way they multiply their actions, it all builds to this chilling encounter with the expedition members.
And don't forget that eerie piano music that haunts the biologist.
Yeah, well, what's up with that?
Is it some psychological thing? Or is there something more sinister going on? VanderMeer doesn't give us easy answers. He keeps those questions in your mind and just builds the suspense.
It's his writing style that does that.
Oh, yeah.
Fragmented narratives, shifting perspectives, unsettling imagery. It all creates this disorienting, almost dreamlike atmosphere.
Like you're experiencing it through old Jim's broken memories.
Right. You feel his turmoil.
For old Jim himself, he's such a fascinating character. A seasoned Central operative scarred by his past, struggling with loss and guilt, especially with his daughter Cass.
Yeah.
That relationship with Cass and how Central manipulates it, that adds a whole other layer to the story.
The fact that Central introduces a false daughter is chilling.
It is.
It makes you think about identity manipulation, the lengths Central will go to achieve their goal.
VanderMeer is a master at building these complex, multi-layered narratives. He doesn't shy away from difficult themes and makes us confront some uncomfortable truths about ourselves and the world.
It's not just about plot twists and creepy images, though. Absolution delves into the human condition, exploring trauma memory, the search for meaning in a world that often feels chaotic.
It's a book that stays with you. It makes you reflect on your own perceptions of reality, the power of the past, and the choices we make when we're faced with uncertainty.
It really is a masterclass in suspense, weaving together seemingly unrelated elements into a cohesive and very unsettling story.
There's this one line that really encapsulates the book. The past is never truly past. It lingers like a ghost, whispering secrets in the shadows.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
The past is always there in Absolution, shaping the present, distorting perceptions, and pushing the characters to their limits.
That's haunting.
It is. It's not just personal trauma either. VanderMeer looks at how organizations like Central can cause harm and abuse.
Yeah, it's like Central itself is a victim of its own ideology.
Right.
Trapped in this web of control and secrecy, they've forgotten the human cost.
And old Jim, he's stuck in the middle of it all, trying for some kind of truth and meaning while navigating Central's manipulations.
Right.
But it's not just Central. There are hints of something older, more powerful, something that was there even before Central came to the Forgotten Coast.
There is this constant sense of the uncanny.
Yes.
This feeling that there are forces at work that are beyond our understanding.
VanderMeer doesn't give us easy answers. He makes us grapple with the possibility that some things just can't be explained.
Like the earwig.
Oh, yeah.
We never really
Yeah.
figure out what it is or what it wants, but it's there lurking in the background.
Yeah.
This force whispering doubts and fears, making the characters question their own sanity.
It's like the embodiment of psychological manipulation,
Right.
working in the shadows, sowing discord and paranoia. Even in a world of science and reason, there are things that can prey on our weaknesses.
And then there's the tyrant, this giant alligator.
Yeah.
It embodies this raw, untamed power of nature. But is it just an animal? Or is it
Right.
something more? Is it connected to the rogue? Oh. And speaking of the rogue, he's an enigma operating outside the rules, defying Central and our expectations as readers.
The rogue is a catalyst for chaos, disrupting Central's plans and exposing their vulnerabilities.
But we never really know his motives.
Right.
Is he good evil?
Yeah.
Something else entirely, Home. VanderMeer leaves us wondering about the rogue, just like we wonder about the earwig, the tyrant, and the Forgotten Coast itself. It's also ambiguous.
That's what makes Absolution so compelling.
Yeah.
It's more than a mystery. It's a reflection on truth perception and the limits of human understanding. It challenges us to consider that there may be things out there we can never truly grasp.
There's this underlying feeling of dread throughout the story.
Yes.
The feeling that something is terribly wrong, but you can't quite pinpoint it.
It's like it mirrors our own anxieties about the world,
Yeah.
about forces outside our control that shape our lives.
Absolutely. VanderMeer taps into those primal fears. The things that lurk beneath the surface of our rational minds.
Yeah.
Even in a world of technology, there are still mysteries beyond explanation forces that can unravel everything we think we know.
And the way he writes, it's incredible.
It is.
Evocative, poetic, deeply unsettling. He uses language to create this palpable atmosphere of creeping dread that gets under your skin.
His use of fragmented narratives and shifting perspectives is masterful.
Right.
It reflects how trauma can fracture our sense of self. As readers, we're kept off balance, unsure what to believe, just like the characters.
He blends moments of beauty with scenes of pure horror, blurring the line between reality and nightmare.
It's like a fever dream.
VanderMeer is a master of the uncanny, that feeling of unsettling familiarity.
Yeah.
He takes ordinary things, a piano, a group of rabbits in an abandoned town, and makes them eerie, otherworldly.
You start to question everything.
Right.
Is it real? Or is it a product of the characters' warped perceptions or even our own?
That's the power of his writing.
It is.
He creates a world where the familiar becomes strange, where the ground is always shifting beneath your feet.
And the characters, they're so well developed, so flawed and human. Even the minor characters feel real with their own motivations, desires, and fears.
VanderMeer doesn't shy away from the complexities of human nature.
No, he doesn't.
His characters are capable of great good and terrible evil. They're a reflection of ourselves, really, of the contradictions at the heart of what it means to be human.
The ending, well, I don't want to spoil anything,
Of course.
but it's a real mind bender. It makes you reevaluate everything you thought you knew. It leaves you with this lingering sense of unease, like the story isn't truly over.
It's both satisfying and unsettling. It answers some questions, but opens up a whole new set. It makes you realize there are no easy answers when you're dealing with something truly uncanny.
It's like VanderMeer saying the search for meaning is an ongoing thing.
Yes.
We may never fully understand the forces that shape our lives, but we have to keep searching for answers, even if they're elusive and unsettling.
Exactly. Absolution challenges us to confront the unknown, to accept the ambiguity. It reminds us that sometimes the most profound truths are the hardest to grasp.
It's a book that demands your attention.
It does.
It needs to be read slowly, to be thought about and discussed. It stays with you long after you've finished the last page.
It's a testament to VanderMeer's skill that he can create such an unsettling and thought-provoking world with such a deceptively simple story.
And speaking of deceptively simple, let's talk about the connection to the Southern Reach trilogy.
Oh, yes.
For those familiar with that series, you'll notice some interesting links and overlaps with Absolution.
VanderMeer subtly weaves in elements from the Southern Reach, expanding on that strange world. It's not a direct sequel, but it adds to our understanding of the forces at play.
For instance, there are references to Area X,
Yes.
that mysterious, ever-changing landscape from the Southern Reach trilogy.
Yeah.
And we see a character who appears in both narratives,
Mm-hmm.
Lowry,
Right.
the gruff security chief.
Lowry's presence in Absolution adds another dimension to his character.
It does.
We see him working for Central, and his experiences in Area X, which we learned about in the Southern Reach trilogy, shape his actions and how he sees the world.
It's like we're getting a glimpse into Lowry's past.
Right.
The events that made him into the hardened, cynical man we meet in the Southern Reach. It makes you think about identity and how our past Even the parts we try to escape can define us.
The Southern Reach connection adds depth and resonance to Absolution.
It does.
It suggests these two stories are connected, part of a larger tapestry of strangeness and mystery.
It makes you want to go back and reread the Southern Reach trilogy and look for clues and connections.
VanderMeer encourages us to become detectives ourselves, to search for patterns and hidden meanings.
It's a brilliant way to engage the reader,
It is.
making us active participants in the story. It shows VanderMeer's skill as a storyteller, his ability to build worlds that are both detailed and endlessly suggestive.
So for anyone who enjoyed the Southern Reach trilogy, Absolution is a must-read.
Definitely.
It's a standalone novel, but it enriches the experience.
And even if you haven't read the Southern Reach trilogy, Absolution is still a gripping and thought-provoking book.
Absolutely.
It's a mystery, a thriller, a meditation on the nature of reality all in one.
It will stay with you,
It will.
leaving you to think about truth, human perception, and those unsettling possibilities that exist just beyond our understanding.
And speaking of unsettling possibilities, VanderMeer gives us some intriguing hints about old Jim's past, his ties to Central, and the events that led to his exile.
Like that scene where old Jim's having drinks with his old handler, Jackie.
Oh, yeah.
She mentions his real home being the Forgotten Coast.
Right.
But old Jim insists he's never been there before.
It makes you question his identity and his memories.
Right.
Is he repressing something traumatic? Is Central manipulating him in ways he doesn't even realize?
And the mystery surrounding his daughter, Cass.
Yeah, she disappeared years ago, and he's still haunted by it.
Central tries to take advantage of that by bringing in a false daughter.
It's cruel.
It is.
It shows just how ruthless Central is. They're willing to exploit old Jim's deepest emotions, his longing for his lost daughter, just to get what they want. It makes you think about identity.
It does.
If someone can convincingly pretend to be someone else, how can we be sure of who we are? How much of ourselves is based on our memories, and how much is shaped by outside forces?
That's a fascinating question.
It is.
One that VanderMeer explores throughout the book. He makes us consider how our identities are formed and the things that can manipulate and distort our sense of self.
This connects back to the book's main theme of the blurred lines between reality and perception.
Exactly.
VanderMeer creates a world where you're never quite sure what to believe.
There's this constant uncertainty, a feeling that things are never stable.
Right.
We have to question the character's perceptions and even our own understanding of the story.
It's like VanderMeer is saying that in a world where truth is easily manipulated, where memories can be distorted and outside forces can influence us, the only certainty is uncertainty.
That's a scary thought.
It is.
It challenges our basic assumptions about the world and our ability to understand it. It leaves you with this lingering unease, like we're all just pawns in some game we don't even know the rules of.
That's what makes Absolution so brilliant.
I agree.
It's not just a mystery novel. It's a reflection on truth perception and what it means to be human.
VanderMeer asks these deep questions
He does.
about who we are, what we believe, and how we make sense of a world that can be chaotic and unexplainable.
And he doesn't give us any easy answers.
No, he doesn't.
He leaves us with the unsettling possibilities, the lingering doubts, the ambiguity. It all permeates the story.
It's that ambiguity, that refusal to provide simple solutions, that makes VanderMeer's work so disturbing and so rewarding.
He's a master of his craft.
He is.
And Absolution showcases his ability to create worlds that are both captivating and deeply unsettling.
Worlds that stay with you long after you've finished reading.
And speaking of unsettling, we haven't even talked about the truly bizarre and disturbing elements of the book. The white rabbits, the eerie piano music, the grotesque imagery.
Those elements definitely add to the feeling of dread and mystery.
They're like surreal intrusions into an already unsettling reality.
The white rabbits are a good example.
Yeah.
They seem harmless at first, even cute, but they quickly become this symbol of uncontrolled growth and disruption, multiplying like crazy, their behavior getting more and more disturbing.
It's like they represent the collapse of the expedition itself.
Yes.
The way the character's carefully constructed world is falling apart.
And the piano music that haunts the biologists.
Right.
It adds to that sense of psychological manipulation. We never figure out what's causing it or why. Is it communication, a weapon, something else entirely?
It's this constant unsettling presence.
Yes.
Like a wrong note in the symphony of their already troubled minds.
And then the grotesque imagery that VanderMeer uses throughout the book, body horror, strange creatures, unsettling transformations.
It's like that scene where the biologists find the whale carcass on the beach.
Oh, yes.
So vivid and disturbing.
It's like a physical manifestation of the decay and corruption spreading through Dead Town.
And it's not just physical decay.
No.
It's psychological and moral decay, too.
Right.
The characters are corrupted by their experiences, by the secrets and manipulations.
They're losing their humanity, their sense of self.
It's a chilling look at the dark side of human nature.
It all ties back to the book's core themes. The blurred lines between reality and perception, the nature of truth, and the search for meaning in a world that often seems meaningless.
These unsettling elements, the rabbits, the music, the imagery, they're not just there for shock value.
No, they're not.
They're carefully woven into the story, adding layers of meaning and symbolism.
They're like clues,
Yes.
scattered throughout the story for us to piece together.
And the picture they paint is both fascinating and disturbing.
It is.
Reflecting our anxieties about the world, the forces that control our lives, and the darkness that lies within us all.
Absolution challenges us.
It doesn't.
It unsettles us and ultimately makes us question everything we thought we knew.
And that's what makes it great literature.
You know, it's not just the complex themes and all those unsettling elements that make Absolution so captivating. VanderMeer's use of a language is phenomenal.
Yeah, his writing is so evocative and richly textured, the way he describes the Forgotten Coast dead town, those strange creatures. It all just builds this atmosphere of creeping dread and unease.
He's got this way with words. It's almost alchemical. He takes these everyday words and phrases and twists them and bends them until they hold these new and unsettling meanings.
There's this one passage that really struck me, where old Jim's describing how the Forgotten Coast feels to him.
Oh, yeah.
He says it was a place where the boundaries between the natural and the unnatural had blurred, where the past and present seemed to coexist in a kind of uneasy truce.
That's it. That's the uncanny right there. That feeling of something familiar but unsettling. He takes something like nature or time that we think we understand and turns it into something strange, something we can't really grasp.
And he does it with such precision. He doesn't waste a word. Every sentence is carefully crafted. Every image is meticulously chosen. You really feel like you're immersed in this world that he's created. Disturbing but captivating.
And it's not just the imagery, it's the rhythm of his prose, too.
Yeah.
There's this hypnotic quality to it, this sense of inevitability that just pulls you in even as you're getting more and more uncomfortable with what you're reading.
Like he's weaving this spell, this web of words that traps you in this world of mystery and unease.
And even when you finish the book, it lingers. Those words stay with you and you start to question everything.
Absolution is a book that demands to be read slowly, to be savored and thought about.
It challenges you, forces you to confront your own anxieties.
What's also incredibly rewarding.
Oh, definitely. The
Yep.
deeper you go into VanderMeer's world, the more you uncover,
Yeah.
you realize how much is happening beneath the surface.
There are all these layers of meaning, symbolism, interconnected narratives. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion, and with each layer you find something new, something surprising and often unsettling.
I think that's what makes VanderMeer so brilliant. He's not afraid to explore those dark parts of being human, the things we try to avoid.
Yeah, the uncomfortable truths.
He forces us to look at those truths, to acknowledge how complex we are, and grapple with those unsettling possibilities that are always there on the edges of what we understand.
And he does it so beautifully.
He does.
Even the most disturbing parts of the story have this strange, haunting beauty.
It's a rare talent to create something that's so unsettling, so thought-provoking, and still so compelling. VanderMeer's pushing the boundaries of what literature can do, and Absolution really shows that.
So for anyone listening, if you're looking for a book that will challenge you, make you think, and stick with you, Absolution is worth checking out.
But be warned, it's not an easy read. It's a descent into darkness, a journey into mystery and unease. But if you're willing to take that journey, it's incredibly rewarding.
It's a book that will make you question everything you thought you knew about yourself, about the world, about what's real and what's not.
It leaves you with this final question. If the lines between reality and perception are so easily blurred, if our memories can be manipulated, if even who we are can be influenced by outside forces, then what does it even mean to be human? What does it mean to search for absolution?
Those are big questions.
They are.
VanderMeer doesn't give us the answers. He leaves us to find our own meaning in the unsettling beauty of his words.
And that's the true gift of Absolution, isn't it? The invitation to face the unknown, to embrace the ambiguity, and to keep searching for meaning, even when faced with the inexplicable.
It's a gift that stays with you long after the echoes of that eerie piano music fade, long after the white rabbits disappear into the shadows, long after you close the book and have to come back to a world that just doesn't feel quite the same anymore.
That's all for today's episode of The Deep Read. Thank you for joining us on this journey through stories and ideas. We hope it sparks some inspiration and curiosity. If you enjoyed today's conversation, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so you never miss an episode. We'd love to hear from you, so leave a comment, share your thoughts, or let us know what books you'd like us to explore next. And if you know someone who would love The Deep Read, feel free to share it with them. Until next time, keep reading deeply, and we'll see you soon.